Certifications show competency. They show that you're willing to put time. And oftentimes, some of these certifications are way harder than final exams. One of my clients without a degree, he actually got a couple more certifications. He started getting more interviews in marketing. So some of the HubSpot, some of the Google ads. So those are good. And then, in cloud, you're going to get AWS, Microsoft, and, security are those industries that have a lot of certifications that hold a lot of respect. And think about it. There are people who can get degrees. They can't pass these certs. LinkedIn is a living, breathing profile. So a resume, they're skimming it, whereas LinkedIn is a web page. So fill it up, and LinkedIn, you're optimizing it for LinkedIn Recruiter. The more search results you pop up in, the more likely you get hit up by recruiters. So I've done profile optimizations where people get hit up the next day by Microsoft. I mean, if there's a luck factor involved, I have had that happen where it should be similar info, but maybe you could give a little more. That's kind of what I do. But the about, kind of give a good about me and some highlights. But the goal of the profile is to be optimized for LinkedIn Recruiter. It's different from a business profile, where a business profile is optimized for a customer. In this case, your customer is the recruiter who's doing sourcing, so they put you in good files, because oftentimes you got to be found. If you're not found, it doesn't matter how good your profile is. If you're gonna use AI, you have to feed it good data and good prompts. So the big issue is people will be like, hey, write me a LinkedIn profile. No, what you have to do is, if you find successful LinkedIn profiles, you have to feed it into the AI. Here's a successful profile for digital marketing. Here's my thing. And then you have to edit it for your style. So I'm not an anti-AI. I'm just saying you have to use it very specifically in such a way, because too many people just let AI do things. And there was a company, what they actually did, funny enough, they put a prompt in their job description. They're like, make sure you put banana. So that resumes that had banana in their thing, they knew that this person just generated using LLM and didn't check it. So you have to be very mindful, and you have to review what the AI outputs, and you have to make sure that you go in, because the big issue is for resumes, most of my clients have used AI, but again, it's you have to sit down. My strongest ability is not the writing part, it's the ability to ask questions and get people to open up. That's what we do as resume writers. The writing is once you get the info and the data dump, it's much easier, but you have to get that info outside of your head. You have to generally think, okay, I launched this new project. What was the impact? How did I make things better? How did I make things faster? What happened? The project was good, but how do I know it's good? Or if the project went bad, what would have happened? So it's you really have to ask yourself these questions and be intentional about every line. Once you do that, then it's a lot easier. You see this all the time. People just have job descriptions as their job. And it's hey, if you put you're a podcast host, it's record podcast episodes, publish them. It's
duh, what else?
Talk about how it's engaged, how many listeners, what are the types of guests, how'd you grow the show, did you decrease the production process, go into that. So make sure when you look at job descriptions, be hey, what's an example of this that I did? And how do I show that I did a good job at it? You have a personality. In networking, it's not your degree. You're not going to be hey, I went to Harvard. Talk to me. It's yo, I really love your podcast. I love that episode. I listened to the episode with Maya Grossman. How'd you get her as a guest? I've been following her. Show that personality. Be curious. Be there to help the other person. Now, shy, I'm going to tell you, shy is not an excuse. A lot of people say, I'm introverted, I'm this and that. And here's the thing. Introversion does not mean you're shy. Introverts are more likely to be shy, but that does not mean you're shy. Introversion just means that you need time to recharge. So you may not be able to network I'm an ambivert, so I'm neither extrovert or introvert. I can hit up 10 networking events a week. I can hit up 15. You may not hit that, but you can hit up one, like a rubber band. You want to stretch it, but not rip it. So if you're shy, just go to one. Go to a networking event, talk to one person. Oftentimes the hardest part is getting outside your house. Just realize that networking is a skill. And just like any skill, you can get better at it. And that's how you want to do it. Do a little. For my clients that are more shy, that dislike networking, I'm just talk to one person. Even catch up with your own network. You don't have to talk to new people. Catch up with people you went to school with. Catch up with your old coworkers. You just never know what can happen. I would say go listen to the Career Warrior podcast and binge podcast. I'm going to be so honest. There's so much gold in career advice on these podcasts, and listen to other people's stories who are in your position. Listen to other people who have done it. And the reason I like podcasts is that you can do it while working out. You can do it while going in the car, while going to that. But what I would tell them is look, honestly, all these people you see that succeeded, they've been beat up too. I know people who are making $1 million who, have gotten rejected, and it took them a long time to get to what they are. They had a rough journey. Most people have not had easy journeys, and some people have had rougher journeys. But just realize that builds resilience, that builds perspective, You now know what doesn't work. And the other thing is, the analogy I like to give a lot of clients, resume and career searching is sometimes winner takes all. So let's say your resume is very good, but it's just slightly under the bar. You may think that your resume is terrible, but meanwhile, you just need to make minor tweaks. I've had people where I've made minor tweaks, where I've switched things, added like an extra line here and there, and now all of a sudden they're getting interviews. And I've even had things with my clients where I did a resume, they weren't getting interviewed, then we made tweaks and now they're getting interviews. And I'm like, wow, okay, these tweaks. So the analogy I like to give, like imagine I gave you a Lamborghini, but it had a nail in its tire. That's a car that's 99% functional, but because of this little thing, it can't do its main function of getting from point A to B. However, let's say I gave you a Lamborghini, ripped seats, interior crap, it goes from point A to B. That's a car that's functional, even though it's in worse condition than the other car. It does, and it's getting success. So that's what I'd say. Hey, you are that Lamborghini. You are that nice car. You have this nail in your tire. But here's the thing, that nail is invisible. And that's what drives you crazy. Like, where's this nail? Where's this sound? And you may have multiple nails, right? Maybe you're like me. You have multiple nails, you have multiple things, and you need to get a lot of nails, but you're not far off. And there are things you can do to at least make some progress.